Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget you put your booties on because it's cold outside today.
It's cold out there every day. What is this? Miami Beach?
No, not hardly. But it's Groundhog Day.
We just thought we'd have a little bit of fun this morning.
We did. It was kind of almost near impossible to do, but we did it.
And there's our intro. Yeah, turn that back. There we go.
No.
We're
okay.
good. No.
We're excited. We're in. You're listening to Prepper Talk Radio. And, you know, sometimes it feels like Groundhog every day, but today it actually is.
One of my favorite shows of all time.
So today we've got a fun show. This is the kickoff to our month of guns.
Firearms,
shooting, firearms,
and all things guns.
Safety.
Yes.
A little different than what we normally do, but we wanted to do an entire month in February. I mean, it's Valentine's Day this month, so it's kind of a good opportunity to protect the ones you love.
To go buy a gun for the one you love? Is that
yes,
what you're
it's buy your
referring?
wife a gun month and husbands buy your husband's a gun month. I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
forget the Hallmark greeting cards.
That's right.
But you're listening to Prepper Talk Radio here at K-Talk AM 1640. We're excited to be here, and we've got a fun guest we're going to be bringing on here in a second.
The very least, go out shooting, right? Take your loved ones out shooting, teach them how to shoot.
Absolutely. So let's bring our guest on the line here.
Sweet.
Make sure we've got the
Cue them up. There we go. Yeah.
queue up. Tim, are you there?
I'm here.
Perfect. Everybody listen up. This is Tim Ralston, probably the most famous or infamous doomsday prepper off the TV show. And more than anything, a genius creative mind.
Amen to that.
All right, that's enough.
I know. I like to pad your ego a little bit.
Oh, come on. I don't need that. Not at all. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, our pleasure. Thanks for being with us. Now, you were just at SHOT Show last week, right?
I certainly was. My God, that place, it just gets bigger, you know? Every year it gets bigger. It's insane.
We need to go next year, Scott, for sure.
I went 2 years ago, and it was insane. I literally, at the end of the trip, I was like, man, I should have had moleskin, everywhere on my feet. Didn't matter what shoes I was wearing, because by the end of the week, my feet were just dying.
So, Tim, you were stuck at your own booth, right? You didn't do 20 miles a day?
I actually didn't have a booth. I was walking around talking with manufacturers' reps, and actually I touched just about every celebrity that was there talking about our project and what we're doing. So it was great. Got a chance to catch up with all those guys and party with them, which was even funner, to be honest. But
I saw some of your pictures.
Yeah, we had a great time. So, but we had a chance to get a lot of feedback on our new top secret gun that's coming out, and we had just huge positive feedback, and I can kind of share with you guys a little bit about that and some of the things that has happened. And I'm going to put some breaking news on you guys and your listeners too that
Sweet.
I just found out two days ago, actually.
Okay, excellent.
So,
go for it.
Well, we're excited.
Well, of course, the gun Scavenger 6 is officially going to be launching in 8 days.
The Scavenger 6.
Scavenger 6. That's been my brainchild for the past 4 years.
Yep.
And we've finally given birth to it. Actually, I stepped out of a engineering meeting right now to come out and do this interview with you guys here in my car. So hopefully you can hear me okay. But we're just taking the final gun off of the final axis and slapping it together, and then going to go put some more rounds down range. So we've been making little tweaks here and there, but we're finally confident enough to pull the trigger and start doing pre-orders and let people get, the first 100 guns come out. The signature series, they'll be signed and they'll be numbered, which is going to be real fun. But we've come up with some pretty unique things with the Scavenger 6 gun that I call these industry disruptors.
Okay.
Because that's the gun world is not really ready for the Scavenger 6 at all, and how we're going to market it, they're not ready for that at all either. So
let's give everybody an overview of what the Scavenger 6 is, if you can give them a quick overview, because some of our listeners haven't heard about it yet.
Yep.
Okay, well, if they've known, I've come out with another gun product about 3 years ago called the Excalibur, and it was my concept of thinking, hey, one gun does not solve any problem at that point. I thought, because every gun is married to one bullet. So if you run out of that bullet, what are you going to do? You have basically a metal club. It's good for nothing at that point, no matter how much money you've spent on the gun. So I looked at that problem and worked it backwards and said, well, if the gun's the problem, the bullet's the solution, then let's go ahead and make a gun around bullets, hence the Scavenger 6. Scavengers because I think that if it ever really hits the fan, it's that guy that's out there scavenging, looking through, junk drawers, underwear drawers, and trying to find bullets, onesie, twosies. But if you don't have the right gun to fit the ammo, then you're in trouble. So this gun is based on a revolver platform. First of all, that's very reliable. It always goes bang. There's no chance of it jamming. So I wanted to start off with that. Plus, the cylinder, actually, we've turned into the barrel. Now, if you can imagine, like a tourist judge just been stretched, so it's very long, 7-inch barrel or cylinder that is turned into the barrel.
Well, I think Rossi makes a rifle that is also a revolver. So it kind of looks, but that's like more of a wood stock, so it looks slightly different.
It's slightly different, but still, we've been categorized, the ATF has put us in a shotgun category, which is crazy. Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but we'll take it because now we can actually help those poor California guys come out with something that's cool and that might save their life.
Oh, fantastic.
So we haven't had any objections yet from any distributors that say, hey, we can't sell that weapon in our state. But basically, the premise behind the gun is to be able to have one gun frame and to be able to interchange the cylinder barrels in and out with no tools, half a second, and you can go from shooting a 22 up to an AK-47 in half a second. So we go everything from a 22 to a 308 rifle round out of the same gun frame. So once you've got your scopes on, you're all sighted in, you're pretty well tapped in from caliber to caliber to caliber. And 3 of our cylinder barrels, we call them CBs, 3 CBs are actually multi-caliber because the cylinder is the barrel, we can bore it out differently. So one cylinder barrel that comes with the gun is our survival CB. It basically shoots 8 guns. So you can put 8 guns in your front pocket.
Okay, so you've got a specific cylinder. So say one cylinder is all 22 LR or all 308.
Yep, those are called our standard CBs. And as our standard CB, we will be able to go everything from 22 to 308 and everything in between, from pistol rounds to rifle rounds and everything in between those calibers.
410?
And then we have 410. We have a 45
cool.
410.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So like you're saying, like the judge or the governor.
And that's one of my favorite rounds for home defense is that 410, and we're able to use that in our gun. It comes with a light laser foregrip, a really aggressive pig sticker at the end of the. I just call it an extension barrel.
Oh,
it
so
does
pig
nothing
sticker.
other than,
Pig sticker is in the flash hider on the end of the barrel is kind of sharp, pointed, right?
It's very aggressive.
Okay.
So if you had to push people out of the way, you could do so with this thing.
Or break glass.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And we've extended we made the buttstock extendable to fit just about anybody's shoulder, and it also will fold all the way up and collapse. So it makes it just a really tiny, small pistol grip at that point. Firearm. So in the front barrel is 18 inches long. The whole thing, we're hoping to come in, I haven't got the final weights yet, but we're hoping we're going to come in at around 5.5 pounds. So she's a light.
That's not bad, yeah.
Light. You can carry it all day. It has a place for a single-point harness. It does come with a backpack that I custom designed, 2 shoulder straps. It's a scabbard bag that holds in a zippered pouch your firearm, and it has zippered pouches that hold 9 extra cylinder barrels plus ammunition. So if you fill that up with CBs, you're basically walking around with a pack that weighs as much as a pimped out 308.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You're firing. You have the ability to fire 30 different rounds out of that one gun.
Okay, so I'm on your Facebook page looking at the Ultimate Survival Gun. So is the the image on your Facebook page, the actual final rifle. So you've got the kind of the buttstock extends out from the top rail, and then you have you're showing a pistol grip on there too. Does that make it an any other weapon? Is that a standard feature?
They still consider us a shotgun.
Oh wow, cool. Because you usually throw a pistol grip on a rifle, I guess on a pistol. You throw that on a pistol, then it becomes another weapon. You have to register it or something, right?
Well, the nice thing is I've just linked this on our website, or on our Facebook page. So if you guys are trying to figure out what we're talking about, go to Prepper Talk Radio on Facebook. Click on the link there. It'll take you right to the Scavenger 6 website, so you can see what this looks like. And the reason why we're talking about this today is, yes, it's gun month, but as preppers, a lot of us have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on ammunition,
ammo and different
thousands
guns,
and thousands of dollars on a lot of different guns. But it all comes back to the premise of what are we going to need when we need it, and what's going to be available. And I think that's
the biggest
for those
question.
that are listening. That's what this gun solves.
Yeah, I think that for me, that's the biggest question is, okay, how much of each ammo, of each round should I carry? Which ones are the most common that I should have? And we'll have that discussion today in our next segments. But and then how many rifles of each do I need? So that's the big question. And then that's a lot to carry, and you just can't carry it all.
You just can't. And you should see some of our videos that we're putting together, having a guy that's carrying the same amount as I am in my front pocket. Physically, you just can't carry that many weapons. On top of the expense, it's just insane. I went, just middle of the road, not the best, not the worst, but everything that we shoot out of the survival CB, I went to Bass Pro and I ordered it all. Okay, here's how much it cost. $10,250.
Oh my goodness!
To be able to shoot the same kind of ammo that one gun can shoot
in
out
just
of
a basic rifle, like a bolt rifle or revolvers or
I did rifles, revolvers. I mixed it up, but it was the middle of the road in the price range. But still, even that, it all adds up. And a bullet doesn't know the difference between a $5,000 gun and a $20 gun.
Right.
As long as it hits that primer and puts down range. But you've got to be able to make it accurate. And with our gun setup, you're not a pistol round. That if you had to fire a 357 and you had to fire a 357 out of the Scavenger 6, I guarantee every single time you're going to hit the target with ours. The reason being is that you fire it like a rifle. Most people are better rifle shots than they are handgun shots. So that one precious bullet you're going to put on target, and especially if you put some good optics on this thing, you're going to get even a better grouping at the end. So, I just look at it in a prepping situation. Bullets are going to be the most sought-after, biggest commodity that you're going to have to exchange. I mean, I tell people now, look, you're getting into the prepping game and you're looking to say, I'm going to go buy gold and silver. I said I would first make it ammunition, get that brass first.
Agree.
And then go get the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, we talk a lot about food storage and water storage, but then you have to also be able to protect yourself. That safety, security is a big part of that, which part of that is having a firearm or multiple firearms and ammunition for that as well. Absolutely.
That's the bullets, beans, and Band-Aids of preparedness, right?
For sure.
We hear it a lot. People talk about it very seldomly anymore as those three, but you've heard that buzz phrase at least once or twice in your life as a prepper. But bullets, beans, and Band-Aids, it's kind of like your core three that people focus on getting. But
and I think a lot of people don't want to think that they're going to have to defend themselves someday. I mean, that's a difficult decision. Thing to think of.
And all of those are highly tradable commodities. I mean, Band-Aids. Sure. I mean, we're at our break already. Guys, stay tuned. We're going to be right back. We've got a ton to talk about. So Tim Ralston's here for the rest of the hour. Stay tuned. Here's some messages from our sponsors, and we will be right back. I almost feel like I should have played the Groundhog Day music again, just so you'd feel like you're part of the movie.
Sonny and Cher, classic.
So we're here. You're listening to Prepper Talk Radio here on K-Talk AM 1640. Stream us at all the wonderful places you can find. KTalkMedia.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Spreaker, iHeart, and
iTunes.
So you can find us just about anywhere if you want to listen to our podcasts. And today we've got Tim Ralston with us. We're talking about the Scavenger 6, and the purpose behind today is understanding the importance of the different calibers, understanding the importance of being able to shoot those when the time comes. And that was the inspiration, I guess you'd say, behind the Scavenger 6.
Yeah, and I like that you said when, because it truly is going to come down to when and not if. Right, Tim?
Yeah, I agree with that. It is. And, it's better to have it, not need it, and then need it, not have it kind of mentality. And, one thing I wanted to bring up when you guys were talking about it is if it's going to happen, I think something that's real important, and I've ran into this, because I've shot guns since I was a kid, and I have a lot of different weapons. But even with that said, in a stressful situation, when it does hit the fan, the thing that you got to concentrate on, and I tell people all the time, is practice when your life doesn't hang in the balance. And that means getting out to the range or, shooting that weapon. To own a weapon is one thing, but be able to shoot it, and hit your target, and to be able to, cycle rounds and not panic when it's really stressful. If you've ever been in a firefight, you're shaking so bad. It's amazing that you're going to put another round down range because your nerves are going. So my thought is that with the Scavenger 6, ammunition's expensive. So being able to train on the Scavenger 6 is so easy because you could slap in the 22 CB. Well, actually, those are probably more expensive nowadays to try to find 22. But let's say like it's a 38 or 357. You can find a lot of 38 ammo on sale at Walmart. So you can plop in a cylinder barrel that is whatever accommodating in regards to cheaper ammo to be able to still get the familiarity of the gun, to be able to shoot it well, to be able to reload it quickly. But the great thing is, like even with kids, you can start them off with the 22, and as they get better, you just keep bumping them up in the caliber range. And one thing that a lot of preppers have come to me is, not that it's anti-government, but they just don't want the government knowing everything about their business. And unfortunately, with regular firearms, you have to register every single caliber you shoot. Every gun has to be registered. Well, our gun, you do have to register, of course, when you buy it, but after that, this is the big, ding, ding, ding. After you bought the basic Scavenger 6, which comes with the backpack, the survival CB, the light laser foregrip, and the cleaning kit, all that comes together. But after that, if you want to add to your arsenal and say, I really want to go out and buy something that shoots a 223. So instead of going out and registering your name and back in the system and then saying, I'm going to go buy a, $1,400, AR, you could turn around and buy a 223 CB from me, and I ship it right to your mailbox. There's no background check. And so you have the ability to shoot that round without having to register it again, because it's really just a piece of steel. So,
Tim, I wanted to ask you, you've obviously chosen ammunition calibers that are more common.
Yes.
Could you go over those real quick? Because that's one thing that us as preppers, or as even gun guys, we like particular calibers for particular things, and some do some things better and some do other things better. And that's why there's so many guns, why there's so many different types of ammo, so many different weight and bullets, everything, because they all serve a purpose. But we can't own them all. I can't anyway because of my budget. And then trying to have a certain amount of every single ammo that I shoot is just not reasonable. So as a prepper, I have narrowed down what ammunition I keep. I stockpile. Let's say that, use that word, stockpile, and kept that to a minimum. So what calibers did you incorporate into this revolver? I assume they're all more common calibers.
Well, what I did is I started off with a lot of market research, and because, again, I knew that ammo is the key, then let's figure out, in the last 25 years, what are the most sold. So I went with the sales stats. I didn't go with everyone's opinion. I just went with what are the facts. And so the facts are that in the past 25 years, the 223, the 45 410, the 22, the 9mm, 38 357, and the 45 ACP have been the most sold.
Okay.
So with that said, that's exactly what is sold in my gun with the survival CB. It shoots all those rounds. But it's also that ability to possibly, if you're out scavenging, that's what you're more than likely going to find. There's a lot of different rounds out there. 10 mil just made a big comeback a couple years ago, but are you more than likely going to find it? I don't know. And I get hit at these gun shows so often that, I would buy it if, and they always give me that if. And with ours, if there's a round that I don't have on my website, then you need to send me 24 bullets, and I'll build one specifically for you.
That's cool.
So that's the versatility of this gun system. It will be the most versatile platform in the world, bar none. And there's one thing, too, that I found in this whole gun industry is that it's a lot of, all gun guys know more than everybody else, and the dealers are even worse, and, everyone has big distributors and everything. And I have guns that, before the Scavenger, that I've always recommended to my friends as far as what is my sidearm of choice or what's my battle rifle. But let me tell you, Glock has never paid me a dime to endorse them,
right.
Nor has, Kalashnikov hasn't written me a check yet, and I love his gun. So we did it differently. Like I said, we want to be an industry disruptor. So I want 1 million different guys out there selling our firearm. So if you were to buy that weapon and say, I like it, this works for me, this is a smart prepping tool, then you tell a buddy, we have an affiliate program, which has never been done for guns yet, and it's all automated. You sign up, there's no charge. Once you buy the gun, you become an affiliate, and you tell your friends, give them your affiliate number, then when that guy buys the gun, I write you a check.
Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome.
Everybody will be getting checks. So eventually, if the theory holds, you tell, more than 10 of your friends, which atypically I've told probably 1,000 friends to say, yeah, you should buy an AK-47 for a battle rifle. I would have been a rich man by now, but they don't do that. But I'm going to do it differently with the Scavenger 6. So our affiliate program is going to be a game changer for a lot of people and give them the ability to, to make money off of their endorsement.
So you would be able to ship directly to another licensed dealer, an FFL dealer, correct? Where they would have to pick it up and such.
Yeah, when you buy our gun off of our website, of course, everything is all automated, and you have to find a local FFL. It's just like buying a regular gun, no problem.
Online, right?
Online.
Yeah.
Same scenario. So we have to play by the rules in all those respects. But when it comes to the cylinder barrels, hey, that's between you and me, and you can shoot whatever you want. And like I said, you can go from shooting a 22 because, like you said earlier, there's specific rounds for specific tasks and duties.
Right.
And so if I'm out hunting bunny foo-foo with my 22, and then I see a 2-foot creature that is a threat to me or my family, within half a second I can literally be throwing an AK-47 round downrange that will be a bigger impact on that person than a 22.
Yeah.
So
Now,
I'd much rather have that option.
Here's my fun question. So they're cylinders, everything's cylinder based. So Revolver World, does a normal speed loader for rounds work with this, or is there going to be a custom one you're going to be selling? What do we need to know?
I'm glad you said that because I actually found a brand new manufacturer at the SHOT Show. One little guy had a dream, and I'm just like going, dude, that is like perfect. So he and I are getting together, and we're going to be making custom speed loaders for our survival CBs, and then we're going to have it for every other caliber that we have. So, and your regular speed loader will work. Say, like if you have a 357 speed loader right now, and you had a 357 standard CB in our Scavenger, it will work. You just drop it right in, no problem.
Right, if it's a 6 or a 7 or 8 shot, 8 round. It's 6?
It would have to be we're a 6 shot.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be the 6 shot speed loader, yeah.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about you mentioned 223. Does that also include the 5.56?
We have the 223 and a 5.56.
Okay. So are they separate or just the same? You just made it to withstand the 5.56.
They're separate.
Okay.
I kept going back and forth, and every different blog had you couldn't, not sure. I just said it's just as easy to make them separate, and so I'm going to make them separate.
Okay.
Cool.
So
that works. So,
but you have, like I said, everything.
Gotcha.
Including the 7.62 by 39, the AK round, which is and then of course 308 as well. So, so you could do a single cylinder with all 30 calibers. So you could have some 308 in there, maybe a 30-06.
So the single cylinder has the 306 and 30-6 is in the. Oh, wait, no.
The 308.
I saw it. 308.
Yeah. We have two other multi-caliber CBs that I've kind of categorized as a hunter CB because my thought pattern was, all right, let's say we're up in the mountains of Idaho or wherever you're at, and you're having to scavenge through some old cabins. Well, more than likely you're going to find some, hunter up there that has probably a 30-06 or a 243. So the hunter CB has 6 shots of the most popular hunting rounds. Again, we went to the sales stats. And then we also have a battle CB, which is 6 different rounds of what you might find on a battlefield, both, foreign and domestic. So, again, and the reason I've done those is really just to save space and weight. So instead of having a 6-shot of, all the rounds that are in the survival, I wanted to lighten the load as much as possible. For me, I have my own special, rounds that I like, and of course that I have stockpiled. So I tend to say, okay, well, when I get my CBs, I'll get the ones where I have the most ammo. But again, it's not about what you have, because what if you had to bug out and you had to leave your ammo? And I've done that talk a million times to guys that, go, oh, heck, I got myself 10,000 rounds. And you're like, okay, take 2 of those ammo cans that only have 500 rounds and see how far you get. Carrying that, your bag, and, water, food, you're not going to get far. So it's not always going to be that situation where you get to bug in, and stay in place. You might have to leave. And if you do, now you're in a scavenge situation. And if you're only married to one gun and one bullet, you're in trouble, in my book.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the 2 scenarios that people they all talk about bugging out, but they kind of mix them into two actual scenarios, mix them into one. It's the abandon and the bug out. Bug out is you're bugging into you're leaving where you currently are. It's a strategic relocation. And then you're moving to your backup place or a safer place. It could be with friends, could be with family, could be in another state. It doesn't matter. You've got another place, an alternate location you're going to that should also have stockpile of resources. And on the way, you may have to scavenge. The other one, the other scenario, which is even scarier, is the abandonment, right? You're out alone.
You're forced out.
You're forced out. You're no longer able to stay where you are. And in that case, there's no strategic relocation. There's nowhere else to go. You are 100% scavenging going forward. There's no stockpile unless you stumble upon one. And in that scary scenario, what can you actually carry with you? What actually can you make part of your life?
Yeah, I've seen you practicing this, Tim, here on your Facebook posts and such, that you're throwing on everything you could possibly carry to see how far you can go. You don't make it very far, do you?
Yeah, it's all good in theory till you get out there and start humping it. And unfortunately, every year that goes by, that hump gets harder, and you're like, oh, boy.
Are you talking about us old guys? So we're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. All of us older than 50. That's when, okay, I guess we got to lighten the load or get smarter. So I just tend to try to get smarter and be a little bit more versatile, and that's where this whole Scavenger 6 came to fruition, is just me getting smarter because no one gave me the right answers to say what's the ultimate survival rifle, because everyone gave me a different answer until now, and I think that the Scavenger is going to be that ultimate survival rifle. At least that's what everyone is telling me from the SHOT Show and everyone that I've talked to when they get a chance to see it. So, but it's getting exciting. And the thing that I was earlier mentioning on the show about that I haven't been able to say anything because I just got told 2 days ago is that I got called to be on another reality show.
Oh, awesome.
That's going to be kind of like a spin-off of a Duck Dynasty kind of format, and I'll be one of the characters. I guess they're going to call me some kind of gadget doctor or the guy that can fix things and or invent them. And of course, all based around survival. I can't say the large network that picked this up yet until we shoot the first series, which is in the middle of February, and it's about an underground bunker company that has to remain nameless right now. But these guys are exploding, and they're coming out with this new line of survival shelters that's just insane and affordable. For goodness sakes, finally they're affordable.
That's cool.
So
that's been the biggest thing. There's just not very many. It's funny how in the survival world there's so many things that we need or we want to get, but so much of it is just so expensive to make, and because it's not large production runs either. Typically, it's hard to get these things at a good price, and so especially like survival shelters. Are you kidding me? Those are insanely expensive. And you can't bury something else. You can't bury a container and call it good because it's going to cave in, collapse on itself. I mean, then it's
never done that.
Yeah, I mean, you know firsthand how bad of an idea that turned out to be.
That was so expensive. I would have been better off buying one that was complete than trying to jerry-rig it myself. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's live and learn for sure on that one.
Well, hey, we're running into our next break, so I wanted to give a shout-out. We've got to remind everybody, K-Talk Media's Sweetheart Giveaway. Make sure you enter to win at ktalkmedia.com, or you can drop by one of our show sponsors. You'll see them all throughout town. You're going to win, if you win, a stay at the Marriott Spring Hill Suites, time at the Armory Shooting Range, and you can go eat at either the Olive Garden or Texas Roadhouse, all on our sponsors. So stay tuned. We're going to be right back with Prepper Talk Radio with Tim Ralston is our guest this week. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Prepper Talk Radio. This is our third and final segment of the day. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got our special guest Tim on the line still. And before we jump back into the guns and the shoot-'em-up scenarios that we're going to talk about, one of the things we want to launch this month is also our tips and kind of awareness watch. Mm-hmm. So in our third segment from now on, we're going to do a little bit of an awareness watch. So Shane, why don't you tell them what our focus is today?
Well, yeah, I think we want to try and do a little financial update for those of you who don't watch the markets maybe as seriously or as closely as I do. And as I mentioned before, I think one of our biggest concerns is financial collapse. I don't want to use the word collapse, but financial concerns of the stock market crashing and so forth. And so I just wanted to bring this to light, touch on a few things to make you guys aware of what's going on out there, and then hopefully you'll dig in a little bit deeper up by yourselves. So if any of you have watched what's going on today in the markets, plural, it's pretty crazy. Stock market today is down over 660 points today. I think that's where we closed at, over 665 points underwater. Now, I'm not going to get into it. We'll get to take us completely off track. So in addition to that, gold and silver are down, which is crazy. So is Bitcoin. But I won't get into that either.
And bonds are up,
and
right?
Bond rates are up. And so you were seeing the opposite of bond rates going up, yields going up, and prices going down. Bonds are selling off. That's a bad sign. And you probably hear a lot out there about the flattening of the yield curve. That has become even more extreme now with bond rates going up. So something's going on there behind the scenes that I'm not understanding. With bond rates going up, the stock market taking a huge hit here, silver and gold going down at the same time. That's my update for today. Get out there, do your own little research, and try and figure out what's going on because I don't know what the heck's going on. It's just craziness.
It sounds like it's a perfect opportunity to start investing in bullets, beans, and Band-Aids again.
Yeah, that's true. Ammo prices have stabilized. Have they not, Tim?
They have.
Because, for a time there, it was crazy.
Yeah, you couldn't find it. But, I think that was my own self thinking a lot of that's government controlled because it was all in Long Beach, all in lockdown. So, but now it's been freed up. So here we are. Now we can get it, and I think, like you said, it's the writing could be on the wall, but who knows? You just don't know. But when I had my store, this was a year ago, and a year ago I had so many very affluent, and these guys were all investment guys. That's what, for me, red flags started going up. And when the investment guys are, taking all their own money out of the stock market and putting it into food, because that's what they were in my store for, buying food and product, you start to wonder. You go, okay, what do you know that I don't know? So,
absolutely.
Like you said, you have to dig in and do your homework.
Well, speaking of homework, here's our little pop quiz hopefully you've studied for it moment. Now, you mentioned earlier the Excalibur was one of the projects you worked on, and that to me, no offense, is kind of a gimmicky gun because of the fact that it's only a single shot. To me, well, two shots. You've got your lower 22, but then you've got your interchangeable barrels, and you can adjust it. Then you got your shotgun round. To me, I was like, I've got two shots. If I'm in a confrontation scenario, I'm screwed, right? Yeah. This with the Scavenger 6 seems like it makes a lot more sense. But how do I compete, or how do I address the situation with like an AK or an AR where they've got a 30 round or larger capacity? What's your takeaway from that?
You got to be a better hider. You got to hide better, Scott. No, I look at I've had that question a lot when I was doing the Excalibur, and yeah, it is a single shot, but for me, I'd rather have one shot than no shot. When you really break it down, because I tell people, they go, well, is the Scavenger 6, is that it? Well, at least I have 6 shots to put that assailant down, and I can reload fairly quickly and have 6 more. And the West was one with a 6-shooter. So if it comes down to it, eventually, when you think about it, I mean, I have both. I still have my Glock. I still have my AK. So if I'm going to battle, I'm not going into battle, and I know I'm going to be facing someone else with a 30-round or 75-round drum. I'm coming at them, mano-a-mano. But eventually, and that's where this gun comes in, is that in 6 months, after you have these big firefights and leads being thrown out everywhere, it's not like, you're working for the government and you have unlimited amounts of ammunition coming at you. You're going to get to that ammunition shortage, and then it's going to look like one of those TV shows that you see about end of days where they're kind of going, okay, well, I've got a sword or I have a bow and arrow. And, realistically, it will get to that point if it were a really bad scenario, an EMP attack or whatever. Then you really have to think down the line that's scavenge kind of thing, that there's not going to be a lot of bullets. It's a finite resource, and unless you have huge stockpiles and you can barter for it, like I said, it's currency at that point. It's not something that you can just go down to the store and pick up.
Yeah, so, and reality is that the best way to survive a gunfight is to avoid the gunfight, is to stay out of the gunfight.
Not be in it.
Is not be in it. And if you know that you have a limited amount of rounds, like whether it's a bolt gun or a revolver, in a bolt gun you have 4 to 6 or whatever, you're going to be more accurate. You're going to take your time and place those shots properly, right?
You're definitely going to do that. And I think it's the gun itself. If I have I practice a lot with my handgun, but if it were coming down to it, I would rather have a rifle because I just don't miss with my rifle. Plus, I have a great scope, so I can put it on the money every single time. So when shots count and bullets are scarce, then I'd much rather have my revolver, knowing that it will never jam. I don't have to be as delicate about, cleaning it and everything else. So that's something that's real important for us.
Yeah, I think the maintenance of your sidearm, your firearm, whatever you're carrying with you, that's such an important fact of owning a gun, that if you neglect that, depending on what you're shooting, that gun may no longer be usable.
Yeah, and especially with an AR-15, they do not work well dirty.
Oh, they are the most finicky gun.
And then same with, Glocks are definitely better than others, but semi-automatics in particular, you got to keep at least somewhat clean. You can't run them like a revolver where you can, it can be loaded with dirt almost, and it would still function, like you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've even thought of that, too. We add a cleaning kit to the Scavenger 6, but I also partnered with Frog Lube. We found those guys at the SHOT Show, and I tell you, that product is second to none. And so I wanted it to be in our project for sure, because it's for those, once you've, cleaned your gun with that stuff, it's for those people that are a little absent-minded and don't clean it very often. This stuff, once you put it on, you're going to protect that weapon for a very, very long time. So I'm trying to give, the people out there that are prepping and surviving as many options, as many tools as I can with this one weapon system that, is going to give them a chance to protect themselves and their families. That's my goal. That's why we've been doing this. And hopefully it'll make a difference someday.
That's one of the reasons why I like having you on. Is you and I and Shane, we all have kind of the same mindset of helping as many people as we can. There are those groups out there who they seem to focus on, first rule of prepping is you don't talk about prepping, and second rule of prepping, you don't talk about prepping, and the third rule of prepping is nobody else is allowed to know what me and my group has. And there's the raider groups that think they're going to go out and take whatever, they're going to all die. I mean, that's the problem. But our focus, and there's not enough people like us, is helping people be aware, helping people wake up, helping people understand what their options are. And in practical, usable information. And I think that's one of the things I love about what you've done with your prior products. They're, for the most part, all of them have been very easy to use in multiple applications.
Yeah.
Now, I just wanted to, we're coming up on our end of the show here, so really quickly, I just wanted to get into, because you're doing a lot more than just this Scavenger 6. You have your website, you do a lot more than just this. Could we take the last few minutes of the show just to kind of talk about what else you do? I mean, you just wrote a book, and I've been starting to read that, and it's fantastic. Could you get into that?
Yeah, I wrote a book called The Minimalist Prepper, and we were Amazon bestseller, and it was like giving birth. To be honest with you, it was so hard. I'm the worst writer ever.
No, you turned out nice. It turned out really good.
Well, thanks. It was one of those things that people keep asking you questions, and you're like, okay, well, if I just write it, then I'm talking to a lot of people and don't have to tell the story again and again. But it's just basically boiling down, what you truly need to the minimal things that will keep you alive. And all the gear that I talk about is stuff that I've tested and that I can stand behind. But again, even then, I've been doing so much more testing on new products, and I've developed a new tent that's coming out in the next 3 weeks. I've got a new Cronax that's going to be better even than the Timahawk. I'll show you that. That's coming out. You can just go to timralstonlive.com, and that's kind of where I keep everything updated now and keep it fresh. But I'm, like you said, I want to go out and touch as many people as possible, and with this new reality show, I'll be put in that situation where I'll be looking at literally the best, the coolest, innovative stuff, on the planet. And I hope to give a lot of other guys like myself that have great ideas and products a chance to shine, give them a spotlight and an audience and say, here. That's and awesome. If it can make a difference and help people, then, man, so be it. And
absolutely.
I think we'll educate some people and hopefully make a difference.
So, Tim, the big question is, are you relocating up to Salt Lake anytime soon?
I've been talking to some folks up there, and I've been knocking around an idea that we're going to make a potential mega corporation, and it will be a big, huge umbrella deal where we are going to go out there and just take the entire prepper survival market by storm and put it all under one roof. And we're thinking about it. And, Salt Lake would be our home place.
Well, we'd love to have you up here, definitely.
We'd actually be able to get you in studio more often.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I think that would be the biggest benefit. Well, I'm excited to hear that and hear about all your new developments as they come down the pipe. I mean, for those of you who want to follow Tim, besides timralstonlive.com, you can follow him on Facebook, social media, Twitter. What are your channels to follow on?
If you go to Tim Ralston Live, there's a link for every social media, Twitter, Smashbox, whatever those other guys. I mean, I have a team now that kind of keeps posting and keeps it all up to date. My son, he's 18 now, and he won't help me out anymore. When he was 13, he could take care of it. I'm still one of those. I just now started carrying a cell phone. I just don't like it, but you got to get into the times.
Yeah, I'm really thinking of going backwards on that too. I want to get rid of mine.
I'm actually contemplating going back to the old flip phones.
Yeah,
just simplify and reduce distractions, and just
exactly
minimize. Minimalist prepper myself.
There we go.
That's it, minimalist prepper.
Yeah, and then we could make that a whole. Maybe next time we'll have you on, and we'll talk about the minimalist prepper theory, the way you've got it outlined in your book. I think that'd be a great show.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Awesome. Well, Tim, I've appreciated having you on. I I love the content of talking about guns, self-defense. I'm not like the biggest gun guy. For those of you who are listening and who've known us for a while, I don't know every round. I don't know every gun. I don't know the best of the best and the worst of the worst. I find what works for me, and I go with that. And so this, to me, makes more sense than I had originally thought. When we first talked about it, I was like, oh, yeah, okay, the Scavenger 6, that's kind of cool. And then as you developed it more and more and you started doing, okay, now here's this CB that does this, and here's this CB that does that, I'm like, my ears started perking, my mouth started salivating, and I'm like, I'm hungry for dinner. Like, I can't wait for these to hit the market. And today's been very educational, and I think for me and for our listeners to really understand better what this gun's capable of and what it's going to do. So I just want to say thank you so much for being on with us. We're running out of time, but Tim, you're the man. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I totally appreciate it, and I look forward to having a lot of guys out there getting paid a lot of money to talk about this gun.
Very cool.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks so
All right.
much.
Thanks, guys.
All right, take care.
Now, tune in next week. We're going to continue on the gun conversation, and you're listening to Prepper Talk Radio at K-Talk.